when an audition changed TV forever.
The Emmy goes to Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad.
I'm gonna say it right now. I know everyone's scared to say it, bro. Breaking Bad is just a little bit overrated. By the way, who the fuck is this Dr. Phil?
Bryan Cranston, Breaking Bad.
The idea hit me. Oh, this very boring, law-abiding guy.
You know who needs to get an award? Skylar White. Skylar White, holy, like she made genuinely everyone hate her. Like she's such a good actor to the point where oh my god. It went beyond just hating the character. People started hating her in real life. That's how good of an actor she is. Like genuinely, I was fuming watching that show. I was like, I wish her the worst, bro. Obviously the actor's amazing though.
Who actually decided to cook meth.
Vince Gilligan would like to see you about this show called Breaking Bad.
Holy fuck, it made Jesse Pinkman so iconic, bro.
I said, no.
This is the bomb, Mr. White. I can't lie, I was using that terminology for ages. All I used to say was, it's the bomb, it's the bomb. I really thought I was Jesse Pinkman, bro.
If you know Breaking Bad, well, you wouldn't without this man.
I was on a phone call in 2004 to Tom Schnauz, one of my oldest friends. He worked with me as a writer in The X-Files. We'd been out of work for 2 years.
The X-Files? What the fuck? XUC got files?
Basically not knowing what to do. Figured maybe being a greeter at Walmart. He mentioned
Least obvious clip farm ever.
an article he had read in the New York Times in which some guy had put a meth lab in the back of an RV, much like some sort of a really demented ice cream truck. He said, why don't we get a Winnebago, put a meth lab in the back of it and ride around America and see the sights and cook meth, make some money. In the moment he made that joke, this eureka moment hit me because...
Oh my god, was it not a big thing? I thought meth was always a sort of like a caravan thing. I thought that was like how it's usually made. Was it, did Breaking Bad really like revolutionize the meth industry? Because was it not like the standard? Because you gotta realize with meth, the smell is really strong and you're cooking it, so like a caravan is like what makes the most sense, because you gotta go somewhere like where you can let out the fumes and whatnot.
Boring, law-abiding guy, and he is too. And it dawned on me as that would be an interesting character to write about. Someone like us who, for whatever reason...
I have cancer.
Actually did such a thing. Actually decided to cook meth. I was gonna take Mr. Chips, turn him into Scarface.
The last time you're gonna see a bad guy like this again.
Scarface, ooh, like these movies are bangers, don't get me wrong. As far as TV shows go, Breaking Bad might be the best out there. Like, I'm not just repeating that because Penguin Zero said that, because low-key, he's the only reason I watched the show. He was like, it's the best thing ever, so I had to watch it. But, I'll be honest with you, like, in terms of cinema, in terms of, like, media online, anime can't be topped. I'm gonna say it, bro, I'm not even a dweeb. I swear to God, I'm not a dweeb. I've watched, like, 10 animes. Bro, Attack on Titan is the best piece of fiction there will ever be. Like, don't even come at me with no One Piece. One Piece is sort of like you've watched 1,000 episodes, so of course you're gonna say One Piece is better. Attack on Titan is just better than Breaking Bad 1,000 times over. In terms of, like, American Hollywood, like, yeah, Breaking Bad might be the best in that genre. But in terms of the best thing to watch, Attack on Titan. Like, all movie motherfuckers need to start watching Attack on Titan, bro.
Now all Gilligan had to do was find his Mr. Chips.
I was very fortunate to have worked with Bryan on an episode of The X-Files back in 1999. About a year and a half after the X-Files episode, this show goes on the air and it's Malcolm in the Middle. And I see the commercial. I'm watching a commercial one night and I see this goofy guy in his underpants and rollerblades and whatnot. And I said, this guy looks familiar. And he was clean shaven. Bryan in our episode had a beard. And it took me a minute and I thought, oh my God, that's that guy. That's that guy from my episode. I didn't know he could be funny.
I did 7 years of Malcolm in the Middle, and it was great, and...
Yeah, no, the actor was great. The actor was great, but I'll be honest with you, the guy from Los Polos Hermanes, the guy in the wheelchair, and Jesse Pinkman, like, I'm not saying... And, what's his name? Walter Jr., bruh. Yo, I thought Walter Jr. was acting. I only found out later that he actually has cerebral palsy.
Out of that, I had a couple offers to
I was like, damn, he's kind of realistic, bro. Like, he's a really good actor.
do a sweet, goofy dad on a sitcom right after that. And I thought, how could I do something different at this moment? It's so ingrained. I need to completely step away from that world. So easily said no to that. I got a notice. The writer of that X-Files episode, Vince Gilligan, would like to see you about this show called Breaking Bad. You remember him? I said, no.
Hard pass.
Man, Better Call Saul. I heard Better Call Saul is genuinely better. Look at Jesse Pinkman, man. Every time I see his face, even when he made me watch BoJack Horseman, bro. I only watched him because he was the voice actor. I'll be honest with you. BoJack Horseman's hella overrated as well. Like, it gives you like an introspective look into like the industry, which is, I guess, is like valuable. But as like in terms of entertainment, I sort of was watching it for the sakes of watching it, bro.
It was so hard to cast because we had a lot of scary guys come in. Sitting there in the audition room like, oh man, this guy's scary. But you didn't really care for them. You were sort of looking forward to their demise.
I'm not gonna go audition. And I said, just read it.
Let me think about it.
And I read it, and it was just incredible.
Then Brian came in. I think it was the last day. We were in trouble because the train has to keep rolling. He was second or third from the last actor we were even going to possibly see. And I breathed such a sigh of relief.
Oh my god, every time I look at the actor, she can never act in anything else. I'll keep it a buck. She can never act in anything else that's not basically the wife that's a bitch, bro. Like, that's the only role that people will ever, like, think of her as, because she did such a good job. Like, that's the thing. With, like, Superman, for example. Like, if he acted in literally anything else, it would be like, okay, why is Superman the janitor in this movie? You get what I'm saying? She's that. Like, she did such a good job that Loki bites her in the back.
When he came in.
When I first read the first page of the pilot script, it read...
And let's not knock the writing here. The writing was amazing. Like, they genuinely, like, the actor was great and the writing was great.
Just like you saw. Opened up on a beautiful setting. Trousers are falling from the sky. Inside, there's a middle-aged man only wearing tighty-whitey underwears and a respirator, driving madly. 2 dead bodies sliding up and back in a sea of fluid and glass. And I'm thinking, what the f*** is going on? That was page 1, and...
a lot of people said Better Call Saul is better. I'm calling it right now, bro. Breaking Bad was a little better. Like, I got into, like, the first season of Better Call Saul, and I just got kind of bored, bro. Like, I just literally got bored. I heard, like, generally people think it's better than the original. Hell no.
Took off from there. It was one of those rare moments when you respond to a piece of material so strongly that I knew I had to get in as fast as I could, because the longer I waited, I knew that every actor in Hollywood would want to be a part of this.
Now that Gilligan got his ideal lead, there was still one problem.
What I was worried about in the early days was that people would not engage with him.
He felt that audiences needed to sympathize with his character despite his actions, despite his ugliness. The studio and the network were saying, the silly guy from Malcolm in the Middle, you want as Walter White?
And so
And who the hell watched Malcolm in the Middle? Like, can we just ignore that movie in general? What even is that, Malcolm in the Middle? We're talking about Breaking Bad here. Like, who cares about Malcolm in the Middle?
he wanted to reject Cranston. So Gilligan thought, I need them to see what I see.
Oh, you can't act in this show because you were on this bum-ass movie or TV series that no one ever watched, Malcolm in the Middle. Like, bro, like, shush.
When I sent along the DVD of that episode of The X-Files, she came around, and as did anyone else who might have had questions.
And now that Cranston was officially in, he did more to prove the network wrong than anyone could have imagined.
What I did is I patterned Walter White after my father, who was 30.
Oh, he came up with the name. Oh my god, the name is almost more iconic than the show, Walter White.
Years older than me. I felt that Walter White was older than his actual years. The way he carried himself, the way he was burdened by society, he felt like a much older man than he really was. So I thought, I think if I just take on the characteristics of my father, more rounded shoulders for an older man, a deeper voice. I wanted a mustache.
Oh wow, man. I really hope my kids be doing great shit like this, bro. Like, imagine your kid's an actor and you're genuinely memorialized forever and like what many stupid people consider the best piece of fiction because they clearly haven't watched Attack on Titan. But like, come on, you're memorialized in Hollywood forever because of your children, man.
That you look at it and you go, either grow it out or shave it. I call it an impotent mustache. You thin it out so that you can see the skin underneath it. I wanted him to feel invisible to himself. And then...
You guys know what it is? I genuinely read about this. The best facial hair for a guy is like the most attractive, like they did studies on this. It's where it's like you can see the skin, it's like lightly shaved. So it looks like you can grow the facial hair, but you haven't grown it. That's apparently the best, like in general, like for all ages.
When he transitions into becoming Heisenberg, his shoulders go back, his voice goes stronger and becomes...
It's crazy how much goes into the character. Like, they really think about everything, like how the shoulders are positioned, the tone, the everything. Like, you don't notice this, but episode on episode, truly actors don't get enough praise, man.
More formidable to his...
Even though I do think that they are a little bit overpaid. Just a little bit overpaid. Just a little bit.
enemies. Say my name.
You're such a sweet presence. You're so...
Or at least the Marvel motherfuckers are overpaid. Like, oh my god, I know Robert Downey Jr. is a great actor, but we're paying him $300 million to go, I'm Iron Man. Like, come on, bro. Like, I know I'm gonna get hate for this, but it's, come on, like, the job isn't really equal to the reward, but that's really nothing. Like, Elon Musk, for example, he's landing rockets on the moon. Like, yeah, it's not 300 billion times harder than a janitor's job, but he's still getting paid 300 billion times more. But We need people like that. Like, hard work doesn't really correlate to how much you're making. But actors in general, like, I think there's many people you've never heard of that are much better actors, but they just don't look the role, or they don't have the same connections. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's sort of what decides how much an actor gets paid.
Amiable, but man, you have a scary face.
Well,
No, he doesn't. He looks like the most average white guy ever. And I think that's what made it so good. Like, he's just an average teacher. He really sold you on the idea.
You should mention that, because I always thought that even no emotion whatsoever, I have a scary face, period. So if for instance, okay, if I'm looking at this camera, no emotion whatsoever, the thing that you read is fear.
Yeah, it's the fucking hooded eyes.
Get off the toilet!
Yes, science!
Enter
God, Jesse Pinkman, come on, bro. Like, we're talking too much about Walter, bro. Like, Walter's a great actor, but Jesse Pinkman made the show, in my opinion, genuinely.
Walt's accomplice.
Oh my God. Pinkman?
The original plan, I thought of Jesse Pinkman being Walter White's entree into the world of criminality.
You know the business, and I know the chemistry.
Some stray like you with a giant stick up his ass, all of a sudden age, what, 50? He's just gonna break bad?
When I got Breaking Bad, I was at the lowest point in my career. I just didn't know where my next check was gonna come in. I really had no money.
Yeah, bro, you guys gotta realize that, like, being an actor is so much like being a streamer. It's like literally the 20 people at the top make all the money, and you know how many people outside Hollywood and California are just on the streets. Go up to one of them, bro. Ask one of them why they're on the streets. I wanted to be an actor. Like, you know how rare it is to end up in a movie? Like, there's millions of people all around the world who want to be actors. And how many actors can you name off by heart? Maximum 20. If you're really into movies, maybe 100. There's millions of people with them dreams that went out there and chased them. And they're bums now, like, on the streets. Who's paying you to be like a side character? Or like, even if you get a job as like a janitor in a movie, or as this cop that has like a couple scenes and like 1 or 2 lines, you're making jack shit, bro. Like, you know how many people would get that job and do just as good as you are? Like, to really stand out, you have to look a certain role, you have to have the right connections to put you in the big screen so you can become the marketing for a movie, because that's what they pay for. For example, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, the reason he gets paid so much to do movies is because his name brings advertising. That's why they get paid so much. Not because he's a great actor. Of course, he's a good actor. Like, we can't deny that. But that's not the reason why he gets paid so much. So to become sort of like basically the advertisement for the movie, like Timothée Chalamet with his new ping pong movie. Like, to become that big, you have to have the right connections to put you in the spotlight, so you can get jobs like that and become someone who can literally by yourself market a movie. Because other than that, bro, like, you know how many people would be down? Like, I'd do a movie for free. If you told me, oh yeah, we're making a movie, we want someone to dress up as a cop and hand out a couple lines. There's people that would do that for free. You're not getting paid more than like a grand to do that. And you, how many jobs do you get? Like, you're literally going to be a bum on the street. That's most people who want to be stars.
Walk out and I'm just biting my nails. I had to have this happen.
My original idea was to kill off Jesse at the end of the first season, once he had fulfilled that purpose.
No.
Being Walter White's entree into the world of criminality.
You want to cook crystal meth?
So there wasn't really anything more for him to accomplish.
I had no idea the initial plan that he was going to meet his demise.
Wow, was that botched? Are all movies like that, or is it just Breaking Bad? Like, they really just went with the role. Like, you're telling me first season, like, Jesse Pinkman was such an integral part of the whole show. You're telling me first season they were planning on killing him? How would the rest of the show look? Like, they really didn't think about the movie. Like, they really just, like, what's it called when you just, like, freestyle? I don't know,
Towards the end of the first season. I mean, that was really your pitch to networks, right? They didn't let me know for 2 weeks. The reason why they took 2 weeks is because, honestly, no one wanted me, other than Vince.
I knew by halfway through episode 1 that there's no way I was going to kill off this character.
Finally, he just said, listen, this is the guy I want. He made it happen.
But he turns into this multi-layered, complex, interesting, troubled, wonderful, beautiful character. He's the guy in the midst of the meth.
All right, come on. A beautiful character. The whole show is about him shouting, "It's the bomb, Walter White." And by "it's the bomb," he's referring to the meth that they're cooking. You're using the wrong terminology here, bro.
Trade, who actually is kind of a moral voice.
You can't keep getting away with it!
Oh my God.
None of that would have happened if Aaron wasn't Aaron.
By season 1, Gilligan knew he had something. But given mediocre ratings, keeping the show on the air was far from a sure thing, as was finding a network to greenlight it in the first place.
There were not that many potential suitors for this show because it's obviously very edgy and dark and R-rated, so especially in...
Yeah, that guy, Los Palos Hermanes guy, he was crazy. Beautiful actor.
2005, 2006, there were fewer than there are now. Half as many, a third as many as there are now. We pitched to TNT. The two executives who I pitched it to were on the edge of their seat. They're loving it. That was the best single meeting I've ever had because these two people were they were such good listeners and they were into it, as I'm telling them the first episode. And then he's in the RV and there's dead bodies. Oh my God, what happens next? And then they looked at each other when I finished. I get to the end and they say, oh God, I wish we could buy this. If we bought this...
Bro, this was back at a time where movies were literally for entertainment. Like, the main goal was entertainment. Nowadays, you gotta understand, with movies, to actually get your movie on the big screen, it takes so much money. So you're relying mainly on investors. There's a lot of people in Hollywood with ideas, like directors and whatnot, who know stars and have these beautiful ideas of shows that are like 10 out of 10s, but they can't secure the funding. And that's because of a lack of connections and because the show isn't really following an agenda. For example, if you want someone to invest with you, obviously the people you have to be like friendly. You have to accommodate their sort of moral standings or what they stand for as a business. So nowadays, a lot of the movies are more about pushing political beliefs or pushing certain agendas, which takes away from the art. Like, we don't have movies like this anymore. Like, movies back then, the focus was entertainment. Nowadays, it is entertainment, but that's sort of been put on a back burner, and now it's mainly about, okay, what agenda does this push? What does this tell people? Oh my God, my camera's lagging. I'm sorry about that.
Be fired. It's meth. It can't be meth. It's reprehensible. Could the guy be a counterfeiter instead?
Not only was the show too dark, but Gilligan faced another problem.
Pitched this thing at HBO, Sony, and TNT, FX. And I remember sitting there in their office and pitching it to them, and their eyes were glazing over. No one's ever going to buy this as a TV show. And the woman we're pitching to could not have been less interested. Just sitting there, just sort of like looking at her watch. This is not going to go well. And I get to the end of it, and she's like, okay, well, thank you for coming in.
The problem was...
Bro, for every, imagine how many movies just like Breaking Bad, absolute bangers, but there were people like that, where they weren't focused as they were reading the script, or they weren't locked in, they were just brushing it off. Oh, some guy cooking meth in a trailer with some high school kid, get out of here. But movies like this wouldn't exist if that didn't happen. How many shows just like this one we will never find out about because of dumbass people like that.
TV networks preferred safe and proven formats, and what Breaking Bad was trying to do had never been done before.
TV shows exist in a kind of a stasis world. And when you watch Bart Simpson for 30 years now on The Simpsons, he never grows up. He never becomes a different character than he is. All the great TV shows in history, it's helpful for the characters to not change, because if they were to change, you don't have that comfort.
Yeah, people would like them less. You sort of build a relationship with those characters. I'll be honest, if Jesse Pinkman went from being this rad, cool-ass hip guy to being some 80-year-old with kids now, it just wouldn't hit the same.
Of inviting them into your room week upon week and not knowing what you're going to get.
True.
And you can make a lot of money by creating a show that goes 10, 12, 15 years. That's what most TV producers hope for. But Breaking Bad, from its very conception, was designed to be different, a bit experimental, to tell a story of change, of metamorphosis, taking the good guy, the protagonist, turning him into the bad guy, the antagonist.
As an actor, I'm all too...
I don't ever think he was the bad guy. What's the worst thing he did? I really don't ever think he was the bad guy. Obviously, he's selling meth. But, at the same time, he was sort of doing it for the money and he's gonna die. The good thing about it is it made you understand. You were like, damn. In his shoes, I might do the same thing. In his shoes, if I had cancer and I was a science teacher, what am I gonna leave for my kids, man? I'm gonna have no money, I'm gonna die. Where's the pension gonna go? Who cares? I have a kid with cerebral palsy, I have a wife, I have people to take care of, and all I know is chemistry. What am I gonna do? Of course I'm gonna start cooking with some guy named Jesse Pinkman. That's the only logical path.
Familiar with the endless rejection of show business, even on regular projects, let alone trying to do
I'm telling y'all, bro, if I ever get a degree in chemistry, just know it ain't to teach no students. I'm gonna tell y'all that much.
Something never been done before, like Gilligan. And even more cruel is even if you finally get the green light.
We pitched to FX, who wound up buying it.
Even then, nothing's guaranteed.
But the time when they ultimately bought the script, I wrote it for them, they thought about it for a while, and then they ultimately said, we are regretfully passing Breaking Bad is dead. Most networks will say, and we paid a pittance for the script. We're just going to leave it in a file cabinet somewhere.
Why would they buy it if they don't want to make it?
We're not going to risk the 1,000,000 to 1 chance that this script becomes a hit for someone else and make us look bad. That's the way most folks do business.
These people buy.
Oh wow, man, this is where money actually like works against us. This is the thing. Like money, of course, working in a capitalistic society has its positives, but obviously it has its negatives. Like things like that. I don't know what not being a communist, capitalist society would have an effect on this, but like, I'm just saying, like, if we can take money out of certain things, like, for example, if money wasn't the equation when it comes to movies, and people were genuinely just spending money to give people the best content possible, you know how crazy, like, we would have actual bangers.
Scripts they don't even want to make. Because it's about control. The more they own, the more they control.
But in Hollywood, sometimes good things do happen.
The FX had passed, and God bless them, they were big enough. When AMC came calling, they were big enough to allow AMC to purchase the script for Breaking Bad.
I applaud AMC for having the balls to put a story like this on the air.
So proud, and I'm constantly impressed by how ballsy the network is and the company is, because
WAMC, man, we all gotta like pay homage to AMC.
The only time we ever got a note was on that episode. It was a call. It was, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And but they never said no. They just wanted to talk it through.
If you've seen the show, you know that beyond its brilliant writing, it has a one-of-a-kind aesthetic. Kind of feels like a movie.
Yeah, that's the thing. It had like a theme. You know, on like Instagram, there's filters where you swipe and it's like New York and like Rio de Janeiro. It had like that theme. Like whenever I see a scene like this could be any random caravan. Remove the caravan entirely. Just looking at this scenery, like that's what makes shows, that's how you know you got a banger on your hands. When you can just look at a scenery and just remember how the show made you feel.
The cinematography would have been impossible.
Like, oh my god, like just even looking at this brings back memories.
To do on the small budget the show had.
It was written originally, I have to admit, for Riverside, California. And the reason for that is I have a wonderful guy I used to work with on the X-Files, a guy named Frank Spotness, one of my fellow producers on the show. And Frank has a brother-in-law who is a...
Oh yeah, let's not forget about Frank. Frank was also a banger actor.
EA agent. About 5-6 years ago, he was stationed out in Riverside.
Why not California? It's where Gilligan lived. Easy choice. Well, the network had another idea to save money.
What about New Mexico instead? I said, why? And they said, because they have a 25% tax incentive, a 25% rebate. If you spend the money on their or folks who live in the state, or, you know, if you spend your...
Would it have been better if it was in California? I think it might have been a little bit worse,
money in the state, they'll give you 1/4 of it back, which...
Like, just it being in New Mexico, like, not everything has to be California. Like, this is more realistic, you know? You want me to think of an average high school teacher, he's not living in no California, you get what I'm saying? Like, America's so big, but we all be thinking about California, and, like, these big states like New York. You know, there's other states it's 50 states, we only know about, like, 3 or 4. And I'm talking, like, from a European perspective, or someone who doesn't live in America. People only know about, like, 4 or 5 states. The rest of the states no one knows about, and for good reason. I mean, those states usually contribute the most to the GDP, but at the same time, like, there's so many people living outside those states. Like, having someone in New Mexico, like, I bet this movie, like, no one's ever heard of New Mexico before this, like, outside of America. Like, it really put it on the map for some people.
Makes this show, it allows us to put so much more on the screen. So that was the reason, that was the impetus.
Ironically, the move to save money actually gave the show a premium aesthetic.
I love Sergio Leone movies, I love Westerns, I love John Ford, I love Akira Kurosawa, I love these wonderful, beautiful tableau shots. It worked out really well artistically because what we wound up doing felt very much, to my mind, like a Western, which it would not have felt that way in Riverside. So I'm very happy that it was Albuquerque. You can't point a camera anywhere in Southern California that hadn't been shot before. And you go to...
True. Like, if it was actually, like, if it was in California, it would have been, like, a lot worse.
New Mexico, and it's virgin. It feels that way.
Albuquerque has been a terrific character on Breaking Bad.
You guys know, like, just some random woman lives in the home where the movie was set, and apparently she gets angry because people visit, and they're like, oh my god, can I go in? Can I have a tour of the house? And she's pissed off, bro. Like, she's antisocial as fuck now. Like, genuinely.
New Mexico has...
A little fun fact there. Not so fun, but it's a fact.
...created a sensibility and a look and a feel to it that has not been overused.
Part of what made the show great also posed a problem. Despite critical praise and Cranston winning Emmys, the show actually struggled for the first 3 seasons.
We're never a big hit in the US. We never had raw numbers in terms of viewership. People had not been able to catch up with Breaking Bad after their friends and family members had said, hey, this new show, you need to check it out.
Pick any episode of The Simpsons at random with no context, and you can watch it. Pick a
That's so facts. That's so facts, and it's a good reason. I don't blame those people. Like, who's watching things on TV first off? I feel bad for people back in the day. But genuinely, imagine just watching a movie, like not a movie, even a movie or like a TV series from the middle. Like, that takes away from so much of the experience. Like, if I didn't watch the first episode of Breaking Bad, like just the first episode, I think that would instantly drop it up a notch, bro. Like, with the whole series for me, it would drop it up a notch. Because it's that foundation that builds it. It's that tension that's built over episodes. So yeah, I 100% understand why it wasn't a big hit. Because the whole part of it is, it goes like in a series, you know? Some movies or TV series, you can start anywhere. I'm literally saying what they're saying. Yeah, The Simpsons, for example.
Movie and start watching halfway through, you can't. Same with Breaking Bad.
It would not have been able to catch up on this hyper-serialized show.
Ironically, what made the show great is what prevented people from seeing it. And
True.
It almost got canceled, except something massive was happening in TV that saved it.
You would have never heard of the show because it would have probably been canceled after season 2 or 3. I'm not even exaggerating, and we wouldn't be up here now talking about it.
Streaming platforms is what saved the show.
The availability of Breaking Bad on Netflix and all these various platforms, video on demand, are a great deal of that credit has to be given to this new technology.
Well done.
You look at that.
What a blessing, bro. But now we're evolving past that. Nowadays, people just have like, because even like Netflix and whatnot, they're kind of they're begging it, bro. They're begging it. There's 500 different little services, and like half of the episodes are here and the other half are on there. And if I'm trying to leave the subscription, it's impossible. And they keep on raising the prices. And then there's tiers where there's ads. It's just the biggest headache ever. Like, it's becoming, maybe let's go back to cable, man. Like, that would have low-key been fun. Just going on the couch and just watching whatever. Like, peak goy slob, by the way. Peak goy slob. You're literally watching anything. You're basically the brain rot today, back then.
Benefit that Netflix had on our show.
I remember binge watching the first 3 seasons on Netflix, which then added the 4th season. And by the time season 5 came out, everyone was watching. Ratings exploded, and the show became a cultural phenomenon. And if you're old like me...
Oh my god, let's just look at the cast, man. This makes me so happy.
I'm a cultural
God, Walter Jr., Skylar White, yo, the guy, the Fed, his wife, bro, like, this is so iconic, bro. Yeah, this guy, oh my god, let's not forget about this guy. Hold on, let me move my camera. This motherfucker, the janitor, god damn, what an iconic performance. Absolutely beautiful performance.
And if you're old like me, you know the pain and the beauty of having to wait an entire week for the next episode.
I appreciate the...
Oh my god, it genuinely hurts, especially with anime, man. You have to wait years. Like, that turns me off the movie so fast, or the anime so fast, bro. Like, I literally just watch, I literally hop on YouTube and I watch somebody who basically recaps the manga, because I'm not reading a fucking movie script, bro. Like, that's the reason shows exist, bro. A manga's basically a movie script. I'm not reading that. You're never gonna convince me, bro. The only thing I've read is the webtoon for, what's it called? Goddamn, bro, Solo Leveling. That was banging. That was banging. The webtoon for Solo Leveling was banging. Why did you just watch people recapping the manga for me, bro?
Watching it as it appears.
There's no way, like, people who, like, you're genuinely, like, you're a cuck, bro. You're a cuck. If you like being edged for a whole year until the next episode pops out, come on, bro. Like, give me a break.
Version of television because it feels more of an event.
That was also a great thing, is you had to wait a week, as opposed to now where it's just you could binge watch. It's like you take a great bottle of wine and you, like, shotgun it. I feel it was one of the last shows you could really enjoy.
I get where he's coming from.
It's like an experience.
And it was an experience. Every week, I'd get together with my buddy and watch, and it was like a mini Super Bowl. And I think that build-up added to the viewing experience and the lore of the final season, the third to last episode getting the only perfect IMDb rating ever. The satisfying ending.
Whoa, I wonder why there's no, like, grifters. There's no way that's real. Is it like only a selected people can vote, like experts? Because there's no way people would be grifting it so hard.
There's so many elements that made the show amass the audience and legacy that it has.
Oh yeah, when she died. Did she die, or did she, like, died on her own vomit or something? That was sad, bro. Jesse having a mental breakdown. Like, I'm starting to remember the show again.
Really, this video is my love letter to a piece of art that was almost dead before it started, and to the creatives who were bold enough to push cinematic boundaries.
Tell me why you're doing this.
Seriously. You did it for me.
God, even the music, bro. I swear, if this video gets copyrighted, by the way, I say that every single video. I'm not even monetized, so I'm just chatting rubbish, bro. Like, you know how little I could care if this gets demonetized? Zero.
Basically not knowing what to do, figured maybe being a greeter at Walmart.
My name is Adam, this is Screen Puff, and I hope you enjoyed my first video. I created
First video. Wow. Go subscribe to this guy right now, Screen Puff. I'll link him in the description. Banger video. W Breaking Bad, W Screen Puffs, and W Ibrahim J, bro. Subscribe to my channel. See ya. Why did I refer to myself in third person? W me, bro. Subscribe.